Welcome to another video on the Course in Miracles. Today we're going to do some debunking. So, I am going to the Northwest Foundation for the Course in Miracles. They have this thing called, it's their own channeled, which actually probably is channeled, but they claim it's channelings from the same source in the Course in Miracles, acim. So, apparently it has a video. So I am going to contemplations, and I'm just going to open the first, well, currently the first one. I'm going to open all of them eventually. And to be, I'm not going to show their site or anything because it's honestly their material. So I'm going to paraphrase. And I'm literally doing this on the fly. This is mostly because there's perceptions that there are teachings other than the Course in Miracles that are the same, or channeled, or whatever, same, but they have some obvious inconsistencies for anybody that actually practices the Course, does forgiveness, and I'm going to help expose them. So, let's see, I'm literally reading this right now. First paragraph. Let's see. There is an obvious flaw in here, and it says that without three things there is no healing, and those three things are regeneration, redemption, and transforming. Once again, paraphrasing. Course teaches that we are after these things. Okay, first it teaches that you forgive, which is the idea that you're not a body to begin with, so regeneration just out the window. Transformation, that would be of the mind. I won't debunk that. Yeah, that aligns with the Course. Okay. Redemption, totally unnecessary because there's no need to redeem yourself. Okay. So it says they are the keys. The Course clearly states that certain thing is the key, but anyway. I won't hit everything. Let's not be nitpicky. Okay. We'll go after nitpickingness after this and why I don't want to do it. Okay. It says these three things, we debunked two of them, are representative of the laws of God. Okay. Which have ascendancy over sin. That's interesting. Is light above shadow, or does light exist because shadow does not? Huh. Okay. You forget that these three things, which don't have anything to do with the Course teachings, you have found yourself lost. But, okay, so these three things have nothing to do with the Course, apparently get me free. These three words. Let me undermine your blah. Okay, here's an obvious thing. It says you don't have to believe what you believe. It says we see what we believe. And that as we shift our beliefs, essentially, it's not exactly what it says, but you will heal by shifting your beliefs. There's a way to do that, but they're not hinting at it. The base teaching of the Course. Okay, the Course does not teach this. The Course teaches that you perceive things one of two different ways. and that there's different tracks, so you could say free will. If you believe that you are a body, you're going to act on the idea that you're just limited or whatever, and you will act on sin, the coarse version, or guilt. I'll just say guilt. The actual origin of the word sin, at least from what I know in Latin, means lack. It kind of makes sense if you study Enlightenment. But anyway, so the other thing is if you perceive yourself in whole, then your body acts a different way. This has a completely different philosophy that doesn't even agree with the Course. Once again, I remember that I am doing this on the fly. I believe, because I personally believe I have a foundation of the core teachings of the Course. I don't memorize every single thing. It's easy to spot things that make no sense because after doing forgiveness, you notice it doesn't work. Anyways, I'll bring up why I'm doing these, and I'll still do nitpicking afterwards. I joined a group, and they like these materials, specifically this one. And by this one I mean the entire site. And basically they don't have any practice. Literally no techniques. The Course teaches you how to forgive. So I literally asked about 10 people, and not one of them had a technique for how they practiced, even though they have studied the book for 30 years, but they still don't forgive. For a course that teaches forgiveness, that's pretty interesting. I'm actually going to make this video a little longer, and I'm going to do another one, second one down. First, nitpicking. Okay, I don't like nitpicking. I'm a little nervous right now. The idea of going against spiritual teachings and flaring up the entire community isn't exactly something I want to do, but it's something that somebody has to. So I don't like nitpicking because there's so many. Well, I'm a nerd. Okay, so I see this a lot. Word for word. You didn't say this, he said that. Like, I don't care. If you're arguing over a physics law that floats something, doesn't matter whether you have like 30 cubic centimeters or 31. They both float the balloon, if you're trying to float a balloon. So I am going after things that change the foundation. And the foundation principles are what you use to practice with, and you practice these because they give you peace, and then everything reflects. Your life starts to change. I can speak with, aside from the nervousness I have now, relative confidence, because I've seen these things for myself. I follow 3 specific teachings because they all give a different way of practicing the same thing, different mindset, but they all go together. And that's the founder of the New Age movement, one of his students, and the Course. And of course, anything with the Course that doesn't say the opposite, like this. Which actually, the first half of the second part, if not a little more, seems to line up. But then, this one I did read before. Later it says that this world and reality are combined, but the Course very clearly states many times that it is not. It then goes on to say that time and eternity are together, and that time is a misperception. But even though I remember pretty clearly that the Course says that what we are in has nothing to do with reality or eternity, there's a guy that actually teaches the ability to focus on the present. You probably can think of the book title because it's very similar to that. I think he misinterpreted the idea that eternity had anything to do with this world whatsoever. Think of it as a timeless state. It's not something I even have a glimpse of, actually, as far as I am aware. So, then the very end has a very troubling thing. So the second one on that site, it says there is nothing to do. We are already there, and release our idea that all illusions are there, and just open your eyes to truth. Well, that's completely impossible unless you've already practiced forgiveness. Because Forgiveness erases guilt, and you're kind of peeling away the guilt. So for a book that spends 670 pages explaining why you need to do this one bit at a time, that there is a thing to do, it's an undoing, it's an illusion that undoes, a positive illusion, you could say, like a band-aid, it undoes the fake one. So guilt would be the fake illusion, the one we created for no reason. And then it has many other pages explaining how, and this says there is nothing to do, and it's just contrary to the Course. Yeah, that's the end. Just gotta find the button. Here we go.